Good morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm going to be doing a full day of eating, as well as sharing with you guys some tips about something that I think a lot of women in particular struggle when it comes to eating healthy and choosing foods this time of year. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my experience dealing with different eating situations and things like that. So I do want to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Bellway. So excited to be partnering with Bellway again because they are my absolute go-to fiber supplement. And this time of year, you definitely need added fiber to help you stay digestively happy while you're indulging probably more than usual. So I will show you guys my fiber supplement this morning that I'll be taking. It is early, it is 7:30, and I just finished up breakfast, which I'll show you guys what I had after this clip, but I am getting ready to take my supplements, and so I wanted to get on and let you guys know what this video is going to be. So I do want to just quickly say that if you have like teenage girls or even really teenage boys or just younger kids, you may want to not have them in the same room toward the end of the video when I do talk about different eating struggles that moms and some dads too even face. So I just wanted to disclaimer that because I know a lot of you guys watch with your kids. So here is what I am taking this morning as far as supplements go. I'm just going to be taking my immunity gummies for just immune system health, and then I'm going to be taking Bellway Super Fiber Plus Fruit in the lemon lime flavor. Some things that I really love about Bellway is the fact that it is gluten-free, there's 0 grams of sugar, and it is plant-based. This is a premium psyllium fiber supplement that helps regulate digestion, and Bellway has a ton of different products. They have fiber plus collagen, which you guys have seen me take time and time again, but they do also have this one, which is just the super fiber plus fruit. So there's nothing added into this. This is just a straight fiber supplement. The lemon lime tastes super good. It's not artificial tasting at all because there's nothing artificial in this. And so as you guys can see, there's a ton of benefits to taking fiber, from your gut health, having a happy gut, to being able to use the bathroom regularly, less bloating, feeling fuller, improved heart health, clear skin, and healthy hair. So if you guys want to check out Bellway, I will have a link and a 20% off coupon code for you down below. I definitely recommend taking fiber all of the time. It is the one thing you can do that will really make a difference in your health in so many different ways, is increasing your fiber. And unfortunately, it's very, very hard to get the recommended amount of fiber that is recommended. And so a lot of people, myself included, do need a fiber supplement. And so I love sharing Bellway with you guys for that reason. Not to mention, so many of you guys have shared your testimonials with me about how you feel so much better since you started taking Bellway. I know a lot of you moms who watch me have got your husbands taking Bellway as well, and they are seeing the benefits. So I truly, truly would never recommend something that I didn't feel was actually really beneficial for you, and fiber will help you feel better and look better, and has a direct correlation to heart health, and also will help in the weight loss department too, if that's something that you know you're needing to do. You'd be surprised at how much junk just sits inside your stomach, and once you start taking a fiber supplement, suddenly you're digesting things better and you're losing weight. And so I just love Bellway. So be sure to check out the link and use the coupon code. You can save 20% on your order. Stick some Bellway in someone's stocking, give them a gift that will keep on giving to them, and I know you guys will love it. So all that information will be down below for Bellway. So it's about 10 now, and I am going to have a protein shake. This brand is from Costco and it's pretty good. I like the things that they have in it, and mostly the cost and the size is really good. And I know whey protein is derived from milk. It's a milk derivative, but I digest it just fine, so I'm good there. So I'm gonna just take 1 scoop and shake it with water for a super fast snack while we finish up doing some homeschooling. All right, so real life lunch today. We are running super low on groceries because we are heading out of town. And prior to heading out of town, if you guys watch any of my grocery hauls, you can usually see how much produce I have in here. I have nothing because we hosted 2 early Thanksgivings, and so I had to clear space in my refrigerator to be able to hold our groceries for that. So I'm due for the store, so we're just making do with what we have because, like I said, we are going out of town. So here I just have a salad. I put some red onion and then this salad topper for some added protein. This dressing is super good, the apple cider vinegar dressing from Chosen Foods. And then I just have some almonds here, and then you can't see it, but there is a piece of sourdough under there that I toasted till it's almost burnt. That's like my preference. And then I did a tiny bit of the Chosen mayo mustard, and then this is Boar's Head low sodium turkey and roast beef for protein. So that combined with a sparkling water will be what I am having for lunch today, making do with having an overdue trip to the grocery store when we get back. So we have a little visitor this afternoon of my nephew. Look at his little baby toes. And so I made myself an afternoon cup of coffee that is up nice and high so the little guy can't grab it. So the last thing that I'm going to be having to eat today besides my tea that I'll show you guys here in a second, it's my absolute favorite fall tea, is a taco salad. It's Taco Tuesday. So that's what we're having. I just did some ground turkey and browned it with the Kinder's taco seasoning, and then I added refried beans and corn, and then I just have some romaine and olives. This is dairy-free and gluten-free. I have some guacamole and then a fresh squeezed lime to put on top. That's how I'm having mine, and then I'll have a few crumbled late July tortilla chips, which are on the table over there, on top of it. So that is what I am having for dinner. And then tonight, later before I go to bed, I will have my favorite tea ever, which are these mulling spices. There we go, from Williams and Sonoma. I just do it with water, and it's caffeine free. It's cinnamon cloves with tangy citrus peels. It's amazing, and I'm obsessed and love it. So that's what I'll be having before bed, and that will wrap up this full day of eating. So as promised, I did want to sit down and have a little chat with you guys about something that I think a lot of women specifically face. I know that men also deal with these issues at times, but I'm just going to be speaking to the women watching my channel, as well as, you know, speaking from experience from myself as a woman. So I did say at the beginning of the video that I am going to talk about some adult topics here, just with eating issues and touching on some disorders and things like that. So if you're not comfortable having your kids hear that, now would be a good time to put in some headphones or ask them to leave for a little bit. Not going to go super into detail, but just a little topic. So now that I've said all of that, what I really wanted to share with you guys in this video is that if you did not know, I am a former personal trainer. I worked in the fitness industry for about 8-9 years before I, you know, had to leave that aside so that I could focus more on homeschooling and my work here on my YouTube channel. But prior to even beginning working, I had been on my own fitness and health journey, which I shared a little bit with you guys once I started making YouTube videos, in some very unprofessional, very amateur looking, very you know, humble beginnings of Grace and Grit here on my channel under a playlist called The Mom Fitness Files. In those videos, I touch on a range of topics that were very common, that would come up all of the time when I was personal training clients, or just commonly, you know, misconstrued things or something. But one thing that I never really touched on was eating disorders. And so I wanted to share with you guys here in this video just a little bit about it, because I do think that during this time of year, a lot of people struggle with restrictive eating and then binge eating subsequent following the restriction. And some of you guys may do this and not even realize that this is an actual form of an eating disorder. So I share here just to bring awareness to it, and then I'll share with you guys kind of my little journey through this topic. So around this time of year, if you are a health and fitness minded person, and even if you're not, you can definitely find yourself indulging in sweets, in alcohol, in fatty foods, really carb heavy, simple carbohydrates, like just foods that are not really that good for you, but that taste super amazing. And so a lot of us go into the holidays knowing that we're gonna indulge, right? We know we're gonna have a treat. We know we're gonna have some cookies. We know we might have a glass of sangria, like whatever the case might be. But when that becomes an issue is after you have a treat, so to say. Are you restricting your calories or what you're eating after that in an effort to compensate mentally for what you already ate the day before? Meaning, if you know you overate over at your family member's house the night before, do you then the next day try to eat less to kind of compensate for that? That is just one example of restrictive eating on the back side and binge eating on the front side that a lot of people really, that is a common thing among women. I saw it all the time when I was a personal trainer, and I've even experienced this myself. So I wanted to just bring it up here in this video, because if you are someone who struggles with that, number one, I'm praying for you. Number two, it's good to be aware of it so that you can maybe make some healthy mental decisions, because there is no logic or science or fitness explanation behind letting yourself indulge and then restricting yourself the next day. That is actually the diagnosis of a binge eating disorder. It's eating a ton or overindulging and then restricting calories or restricting food groups the next day. And a lot of people don't like to hear that that is binge eating. Of course, there is a varying scale of a binge eating disorder, and it looks different for everybody. But I do know that the holidays can be like a trigger point for a lot of people, because it's centered around food and we want to enjoy it, but we also, if you're someone who is working on their health and fitness, you might fear, gaining weight back, or if you've been working hard and you've lost weight, you're really afraid of being in those environments where you're gonna feel like you want to eat something that is not good for you. So I just wanted to bring that up, because I don't think that everybody realizes that doing that is actually really unhealthy for you mentally and physically, and there actually is no benefit at all to doing that. You're not going to offset the dessert you had the night before the next day. That's not how our bodies work. And so if that is something that you've been doing for years, I just encourage you to give yourself freedom to enjoy your holiday meals. Choose ahead what you want to partake in and make those choices ahead of time, so that way you don't feel completely out of control and spiral. And then, as I always preach, consistency is key to health and fitness. and longevity of health and fitness. So you don't need to compensate the next day for what you did the night before. All you need to do is get back to eating your regular foods, doing your normal exercise routine, and not out of a place of, oh, I'm gonna work off the cookie I ate the night before, but just these are healthy habits I have in my life, and I want to feel my best, and eating foods that nourish my body help me feel my best. Like, there is an entirely different mindset that we have as women when we approach it that way. I'm honoring my body, I am thankful for my body, I'm thankful for my health, I'm thankful for my energy, and eating foods, fruits and vegetables, proteins, all those things, that helps me feel my best and fuel me. Treats are fun, but those don't fuel me, and so I am choosing to exercise and eat well because I love my body and I'm thankful for it, not out of a punishment of you overdid it over at your friend's house and now you have to pay with additional workouts or super restricted foods. So I wanted to just mention that because I know a lot of you guys are probably enjoying, you know, gatherings and celebrations, and I do not want anybody out there to miss out on the fun and joy celebrating because they're so focused on food. And if you have an unhealthy relationship with food, it can really be a difficult time for you. So as I promised, I was just going to touch on a little bit here with my personal story through this. I'm not going to make a Patreon and make you guys pay to hear my super sensationalized story that I'm gonna say is like my eating disorder story. There's YouTubers that have done that, and I'm like, oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. So I am just gonna share here briefly. So just because I do believe in being authentic and transparent, and I just felt like I wanted to talk about this, and anytime I feel prompted to share something, and there's a reason why I haven't really talked about this, and I've been on YouTube for almost 6 years now. So, you know, this wasn't like I'm gonna get views. It's just I feel like there's somebody out there that can probably benefit from hearing me talk about this. So just a little backstory. Growing up, I grew up, I had like a really chaotic childhood. I grew into my size that I basically am now by the time I was 14. So I guess you could say I was like an early bloomer. I also was a competitive dancer, like a ballet and jazz and lyrical, and I spent the majority of my time for quite a few years of my life dancing competitively and every day, and that was, you know, what I did. I was made aware of certain things regarding body and body image really young. I feel like back when I was a kid, it was not super, moms didn't really try to not, you know, set their daughters up to struggle in that area. But my mom actually had really good self-confidence and body image. You know, at least that's what she displayed to me. But I did understand based on just like movies and posters in, you know, my dad's garage that like women were supposed to look a certain way. And I just became kind of hyper aware of those things at a young age. Also, nobody was preaching to me who, you know, my value was in Christ. And so I, like many women and many young girls, found a lot of value in my image and my appearance. And growing up in the dance world, it is not uncommon for dancers to have eating disorders. In fact, it's really common. And what a lot of parents don't realize is that that actually starts much younger than you think. And it doesn't even necessarily come from someone saying something to someone, because I don't recall anyone ever saying anything to me in my dance community. I don't recall teachers or even other girls in my class ever saying anything to me, but it was all in my own head because I was aware that I was not you know, I wasn't built rail thin. I wasn't built to weigh 100 pounds. I wasn't built like a ballerina. And as much as I wanted to be, there was just no changing my shape and my body composition. And so even though no one said anything to me, I was very aware of just the fact that my body size was bigger than most dancers. And that in and of itself made me very, very, very uncomfortable from a young age. I can remember instances in middle school and things where I think I have shared this little bit of a story before, but I've always had really muscular legs and quads, which is the muscle right on the top of your leg. And I remember sitting in my desk in middle school and putting my hands underneath my quads to kind of pull them under so that they weren't like flattened on my seat and looking, you know, larger. I would make sure that when I would put on my dance leotard that my tights were really high up, because you didn't want to be having any kind of skin folds or rolls as we used to think as dancers. And so I just started to really hyperanalyze and really just become really aware of the fact that I didn't like the way that my body looked and that this was not a dancer's body, and it just made me uncomfortable in general. Combine that with a traumatic childhood and some different instances that I did have some people in my life that were not very kind in this regard, you know, would want to see how much I weighed and would make me get on the scale in front of them and then kind of poke fun at the fact that I weighed more than them and they were an adult. So those type of things were pretty traumatic and really stuck with me for a long time. So going into young adulthood, I definitely did not have a healthy body image, and I definitely did not understand how to eat well. Nutrition and health really has come such a long way since even when I was a teenager and you know, a late teenager, young adult. There wasn't content out there that we could watch and find, and so I carried a lot of those things into young adulthood with me. And you know, my idea at that point of being healthy was eating salad and drinking water and doing a lot of minutes on the elliptical, and that's what I thought I needed to do because I already had such a larger built frame than other girls as I saw. And so fast forward through 4 babies, few miscarriages, pregnancy, nursing, you know, and Olivia comes. And that is really when I wanted to get back into shape and really started to learn about food and how to eat properly. But that was also a time when, because of my past, that there were periods, you know, when I was first beginning, that I was definitely much more strict with food than I am now. And looking back in hindsight, I don't know if it was necessarily the healthiest thing. I do know that I did need, a lot of people do need like a cold turkey approach. And so I did some more strict things like no sugar, you know, that type of thing. That is not something I would necessarily do now because I don't need to do it now. But all of the things that I did with eating and food really gave me tools in my tool belt, so to speak. And eventually led me to counting my macros, which is where I really experienced food freedom and where I got rid of the idea that was ingrained in my head from, you know, the earliest of days that there are bad foods and there are good foods, and eating bad foods you should feel guilty for, and really just setting me up to almost constantly be thinking about what I'm eating. Now, anytime I say that, I'm not excusing being lazy and just eating like a slob and not caring at all about what goes into your body, but there's a fine line between eating well and nourishing your body and being obsessive and like you know, disordered. And because I have a personality type that lends itself to discipline really well, I can discipline myself to basically do anything. And that's what I did. And for a lot of years, I did not touch a sweet. I would go a whole Christmas season without having a cookie. I would just choose to not eat it. And it wasn't, I would never vocalize it because I definitely am so aware of this issue that I have protected and safeguarded my kids against this through just knowing the things that were really damaging to me. So I'm really aware of it, but I would just choose not to have it. And over time, I just realized that, you know, when I did have something, I kind of had a little bit of a feeling about it. And I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so that's why I moved into counting my macros, which really, really helped me stop seeing foods as good and bad and just start seeing food as food and understanding the grams and the content of the food. And that was really freeing for me. And now I don't even track my food anymore. Like, I'm not counting my macros anymore. I know roughly how much protein I need in a day, and I just try to eat foods that make me feel my best. You guys know I am gluten and dairy free for like 98% because of my PCOS, and that has not been a triggering situation for me at all. It's actually really helped me feel a lot better. But I share all of that to tell you guys that I have definitely struggled with restrictive eating and just like food shame almost. And it's been something that I have been working with and dealing with in some regard since I was basically a really young girl, 11, 12 years old. And so if you struggle, you're not alone. I encourage you to really, really, really start to research and understand food and nutrition and not feel the guilt and shame that comes from eating something that you have mentally put in the box of bad foods, because the holidays are so much more enjoyable when you're not having to obsess and worry. And when you give yourself that grace and that freedom to say, if you want that, you can have it, that is, and then you choose not to have it, that is so much different than mentally saying to yourself, you shouldn't eat that, you haven't been working out, or you know, all that type of negative talk. There's a difference in choosing not to have it because it doesn't look appealing or you don't really want to have the sugar rush versus telling yourself you cannot have it. Those are two very different things. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys about where I've been when it comes to food, and I really feel like I am in the best place mentally and physically when it comes to this area of life that I have been in a while, or really ever. And I'm thankful for all of the different things that I learned along the way through becoming a personal trainer, through doing, you know, like a Whole30 and learning about eating whole foods, and then learning about macros, and then learning about intuitive eating, and learning all the different things, because I really feel like educating myself is what gave me freedom in this area. And of course, prayer and the Lord just healing those wounds. But I just wanted to open up and share that with you guys. I hope it reached one of you. If it did, or if you enjoyed hearing this, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching What I Eat in a Day, and I hope that you are enjoying your holidays. And remember, you don't have to earn the treat. You are not a dog. That is what I always used to tell my clients. You are not a dog. You do not have to earn your treat. If you want to have that, you just go ahead and have it, and that's your choice. And don't overthink it. You don't need to punish yourself the next day. Consistency wins. Pick up, go for a walk, drink some water, and keep it moving. As long as you're not doing it every single day, you will be okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing from me. Let me know if you did. Give me a thumbs up before you go. If you're new, I'd love to have you subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video really soon. Don't forget to check out the links to Bellway. That will be down below for you. And the coupon code, which is down there, will get you 20% off your order. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.